I really think a book is perfect. I don't think it can be improved on. I do have an iPod Touch, and I have Kindle on that, and I have a whole bunch of books on it. All that does is make me think the book I'm reading, I probably could find a better one if I kept looking. And it just goes on and on and on and on, and it's just some kind of metaphor for modern life, and I do not like it. And one thing I like is when you go on a plane and you have a book, and that's it. You made your choice, and you're committed to that book, and you're going to read it until it opens up to you, because, you know, it takes a while to get into things. When we were in the city, they were organized alphabetically. Since we moved here, everything's turned into chaos and ruin, and there is no organization whatsoever. It actually started with getting my dog. My dog likes glue, and apparently there's glue in the bindings of books. And you'll notice a lot of really cool books I have, the bindings are sort of half-eaten. A black book. There was a dust cover once, and this dog ate the jacket of the book. A long time ago, the Los Angeles Rams had the most fearsome linebacking crew and defensive ends in football, led by Deacon Jones. Somebody said the only way to really defeat Deacon Jones is to run him over, run right into him. For me as a writer, the only way is not to run away from him, not disguise him, not be scared of him, not be scared of pissing people off, but to run right at him, to run at the Deacon. I wanted to take all of Jewish history and turn it into a story and then give it a point. Where does this idea of Israel come from? Why is it so intense? Why are people losing their lives and their minds over it? Israel was a real place. It was destroyed, and it was turned into a book, which is the Bible. And then they started writing new books about the old book and new books about the books about the old book. And that just creates like an exponential explosion of books, which is what I basically tried to read in order to write my book. And a big endpoint I always feel like to always writing a book, hopefully, is you have all these books you read and you take your book and you add it to the shelf and you're done. There are people that don't like what I say. It's a controversial topic, but you feel like if you're not really running at the Deacon, then you're not really doing your job. When I got out of college, I wanted to write fiction, and then I got a job at the New Yorker working as basically the receptionist and a messenger. And Joseph Mitchell was around. You know, he was like an old guy still around. The first story I've read by his was one of the most famous, which is his profile of Joe Gould. The music of the language and the way it took a world that was very common and very ordinary and made it mysterious and strange and new. It just made me want to be a writer, and it made me want to write nonfiction. It says, for my New Yorker colleague, Richard Cohen, with regards, Joseph Mitchell. Now, what's nice about that is I was the receptionist. I wasn't exactly his colleague. We didn't play on the softball team together, but it was really, you know, a nice thing to do. My grandfather, Ben Eisenstadt, who owned a diner in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, invented the sugar packet, invented Sweet and Low. And there was a huge family fight, as a result of which my mother was disinherited, meaning my brother and my sister and I were basically disinherited. But there was this amazing story, and I feel like I didn't get money, but I did somehow as a writer get that story, and I took it. There's this huge fight in my family, like there's a fight in the Middle East, and I want to go back and figure out what happened, where it started, and how we got where we are today. The pitfalls are the same as the pitfalls with Israel. It's like people get really pissed off, people get angry, people don't want to talk to you. One book all year. Oh, I know. Negotiate This by Herb Cohen. That's my father. He's the best negotiator in the world. Are you kidding me? He basically says, a negotiation isn't really done until both sides walked away feeling the other guy got screwed. This is a great book. It's a funny book, and it's kind of a profound book, and it's a new book, and I think it'll be around a long time, but I wished it sort of was a book that everybody was reading on the train, which it hasn't been yet, and hopefully will be. This is the James Atlas's incredibly great biography of Saul Bellow. Saul Bellow had an expression which I thought was fantastic, and I always think of, which he described what he did as heightened autobiography. And I just think that's a great way to write and a great way to live. Spread your own legend.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there. He's telling me I got to beware. I think it's time to stop. What's that sound? What's going down?